Hey guys, it's Emma back at it again with a YouTube video. I just want to start this off by saying thank you guys so much for all of the love and support on my last video that I did. It went like way above and beyond what I was expecting. I literally have no words for how thankful I am for each and every one of you who just reached out to me and like just told me how much you loved it and how excited you are for future videos to come, and that just really warmed up my heart. So thank you so much for all the support. So today's video is called Awareness is Key. So something that I've struggled with having to do with awareness is that people look at me and they see what I can't do rather than what I can do. So like in public, people will look at me and be like, oh my gosh, she's in a wheelchair, like, oh, she can't walk, she can't do anything, rather than seeing like, oh my gosh, look how mobile she is, look how she's able to wheel herself around, look how she's able to just be independent for who she is and what she's having to go through. And I'm not saying that like everybody has to think that way, like, oh my gosh, you have to think this way of me. Like, no, everybody has their own opinion and I get that, and that's okay. It all comes down to prejudging people though. So I've had several moments where people will prejudge me, but I didn't know that they did, but they'll talk to me and I'll get to know them, and then they'll tell me like, oh my gosh, like, I didn't know this about you. I totally thought like that you couldn't do all of this, and that's really awesome. I'm excited. And I'm like, okay, yeah, like the prejudging thing is a huge thing that just we as humans in general just struggle with a lot, is whenever we see someone out of the ordinary who is not built like the normal, typical human, that we just assume that they can't do everything a normal human can do. And of course I can't. A normal human can walk. I can't walk right now. So that's just something that I know that people will prejudge me for, but I want it to become better in the future. You know, something that happens to me a lot is stairs, and I can't control stairs. I know that people are gonna stare at me in public. I get it, I think, because I mean, I can't ever remember a time where I saw someone my age in a wheelchair, like before I was in a wheelchair. My dog just came in the room. Okay. Anyways, I can't remember a time where I saw someone in a wheelchair my age and it like really stuck out to me. So I can kind of like get where the stares are coming from, because it's all just curiosity. That's what my parents tell me. They just say like, it's people who are wondering like, oh, you usually see like elderly people in wheelchairs because it just may be harder for them to get around, but you don't see an 18-year-old in a wheelchair. Like, that's just not normal, like I've said. So that's something that I've had to overcome. It was really bad in the beginning. I would just break down crying when I would get home because I just couldn't understand why I felt like I had to be the center of everyone's attention, but in a negative way, every time I went out in public. It's just like, if I'm ever in a really tight restaurant or something like that, where like all the tables are really close together and like 5 tables have to get up and move out of the way just so that I can get to the table that I'm being seated at or something, like, it's embarrassing because I hate like all that attention focused on me, because I know it's not in like a super positive way, because I have definitely had experiences where people get really upset and they make rude remarks, and it's not the most pleasant experience. So, but over these past 2 years, it definitely has improved on my end, where I'm able to not like accept the stares, but like recognize them and realize that it's gonna happen no matter what, and just take it with a grain of salt. I don't know why I use that phrase. I don't like that phrase, but it works. And just realize that this is all in God's plan for me. Even the stairs are in His plan. It's a part of my journey for other people to see what I'm going through. So if any of you are watching this who have a disability, whether it's, I'm not even gonna go through them, like literally any disability in the world, whether it's learning or physical or anything, you know that people can often like assume things about you that are not true. So like, I'm trying to think of an example, but I can't think of a great one. So I'm just gonna say that just to everyone out there in the world, no matter who you are, assuming things can really lead to not the best situations, because I mean, it's happened to me in the past where people assume things about me and then I end up getting really hurt in the end because I'm not able to voice how I live and how I'm able to cope with things that you may not be able to see from the outside, but I've been able to master myself. And it just really hurts when people just assume things like, oh, she can't do this just because she's in a wheelchair. Oh, she can't do that because she's in a wheelchair. Like, no, just ask me. That's one of my biggest things, is that I want people to ask me. You know, I've had a lot of people say, like, I hope it doesn't hurt your feelings, but I want to know, like, what happened. Like, why are you in a wheelchair? And I totally get that. Like, I love when people ask me what happened, because it means that they care. It means that they want to know what happened, and they're not just gonna prejudge. But I want everyone to know that it will never offend me. It does the exact opposite of offend me if you ask what's going on, because it's more offensive if you just like prejudge and all that stuff like I just talked about. So yeah, just ask me. You know, like, I had orientation at TCU, you know, gotta rep Fram Bazoo, about a month ago, May 28th, what's today, the 26th, so yeah, about a month ago, and it was a really fun experience because I already got to make new friends, even though we had just met that day. You can already tell that, like, friendships are already starting to form. And my sweet roommate for that night, it was an overnight thing, oh my gosh, Maddie, if you're watching this, shout out to you, because so I got into the room and the bed was lofted all the way at the top, and so I was like, don't know how I'd get up there. And my roommate for the night goes, you know what, I'll lift you up, I'll pick you up there. And oh my gosh, like, if that's not a heart of servitude that just Jesus is pouring out of her, like, that just made me feel like, okay, this is home. Like, this is gonna be such a great experience, because, you know, like, over these past 2 years, I haven't had the best experiences, but knowing that I'm going to now be going to a college who cares about me and invests in my life, oh my gosh, excuse my dog whining, but I can't wait for it. Like, that was just, like, the highlight of my day that day, just her being able to, like, just sacrifice anything that she'd be willing to. I mean, obviously, I was like, no, we'll go get someone to, like, de-loft the bunk, because that would be insane. Like, muscles, oh my gosh. But I mean, just that, like I said, that heart of servitude is just, that's how Christ wants us to be. And I just love that, because it inspired me to want to be that way to other people. It's just to give up everything, maybe risk an injury or something, to just make sure that someone feels safe and feels okay. Like, oh, that was the best. And orientation was a really fun time, and I'm going to frog camp on Saturday. Today's Wednesday for anybody who's not watching it today. But I'm going in 3 days to frog camp, and I seriously can't wait to make more friendships, because I just know that this is the place that I'm meant to be. And I know that it's going to be a major change, because being independent and moving, even though I'm only going to be about 15 minutes away from home, 15, 20 minutes, it's a huge change, just going from living in the same, not in the same house, but with the same people for 18 years to all of a sudden moving somewhere new and being totally independent. So it's gonna be a change, but I'm excited to make videos when I'm in college to show y'all how I'm overcoming the struggles of independence and how I'm able to live on my own even though I'm unable to move my legs or walk. So yeah, I am really looking forward to that. So I just want to end this video today with a word of encouragement to anybody facing adversity right now, because I mean, if you're not facing adversity right now, then you're about to, because there's always going to be periods in life where you face adversity. No matter what it is or who you are, you're not gonna have a perfect life all the way through. So I just want to give you a word of encouragement that you are gonna have your ups and downs, and that's okay, because I mean, I feel like I've had more downs than ups, but someone else could look at my life and be like, oh no, you've had so many more ups and downs. It's just like perspective and how you look at it, because God just has this up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down trail for our life that we cannot even fathom what's coming in the future, because I mean, that's just who God is. You can't predict what you're gonna have in the future and hope that it comes true, because you are in charge of the decisions you make, but they're ultimately influenced by God, because He has your ways set out for you and He knows exactly what's coming. So I say just have faith and trust in Him that your life is going to go exactly the way He plans for it to go. No matter if that's a great life, a mediocre life, a terrible life, it's exactly how God wants it. And He is your almighty creator. So if your almighty creator wants you to have a terrible life, then that means that He has an ultimate plan for that, because all in all, He has the greater good planned out for us. And it's not going to end up terribly, because if you put your faith and trust in Jesus Christ, then you'll end up in an eternal life of perfection and in His glory. So that is something to look forward to, because we are not always going to live in this misery. And that is just such a big hope to look forward to. So yeah, thank you for watching. This is a little bit of a longer video today, but I hope you benefited from it. So yeah, thank you. Bye.